Maybe.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Anybody? Okay, yeah, Sharon can hear me now.
Can you hear me?
How about Joe? Can you hear Joe?
Can you hear me?
Okay, so yeah,
They can hear me?
They can hear you.
All right.
So, oh wait, I always forget that it's the opposite way. So this is Joe, and this is my partner. And first off, we want to say Happy New Year and hello to everybody. Oh, great. Prince Charming can hear both of us, she says.
Oh, good.
So we were having technical difficulties and we wanted to kind of get that straightened out. But, well, Debbie says hi. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Deb.
And so yeah, so we were having technical difficulties. So we waited till the beginning of the year so that we could start this year fresh. And as you can see, we changed the name of the channel. And that was mainly through just speaking with Debbie and realizing that the channel was different and I was different and my life was different. So we just needed to change things up. So we've been kind of, anybody that has a YouTube, you know, and that you've been doing it for a while, know that when you first start off with something, you think this is how it's going to be, but it kind of changes. And we've been bouncing things back and forth. And so we're going to do a lot of little things, like one day it'll be Joe, and Joe will be on with me. We're thinking maybe every other Saturday. Is that what we were talking about?
Maybe.
And so definitely start doing that. Platform is going to be what?
The show?
Yeah, the show on Saturdays.
Well, basically, we're going to touch base on a lot of UFO talk. I mean, if you have any experiences or anything that's happened to you personally, or if you just want to talk about cases of UFO abductions or anything like that, Betty and Barney Hill, Travis Walton, any of that stuff, or disclosure, anything like that, or government cover-ups, whatever you want to talk about.
And we even open up that day as far as, you know, the spiritual side of things as well, because there is connections to all of that. And then I'm hoping I can go on Monday nights, and I don't want to step on anybody else's toes that have Mondays. And I haven't really honestly looked, but Monday nights, because usually Lucian's like, I love that stuff. And it's moving so fast. Tiny trinkets and tarot, UFOs. Ooh, yeah. I don't have my Beth Galactica. We'll have to look into that. Anyways, so Mondays we're thinking I'll be on doing mini reads and stuff like that and healings, and then Wednesdays as well. So Ron is usually on Saturday nights. What time, Ron? What time are you usually on? Because you're in Canada, right? Oh, that's a person. Let me scroll up. So we figured I would ask Joe some questions and Joe would come back. And if you guys exactly Tiny Trinkets, there's always playbacks. You know, hi Wayne, hi Tracy, Aspie, Suzanne, how are you? So anyways, so yes, so that's what. Yep, and that's true, Debbie. You can catch it later and watch it live later on too. But I also want to do collaborations on Mondays and Wednesdays, and you know, I said I would start off really quick with what my guides were telling me, which this year is about having strength, Hi, Lori. Welcome for the first time here. Well, we're doing it the first time this year. Um, so my guides are saying that we have to have a lot of strength this coming year. And the reason why is because they keep showing me erasing lines, just erasing the lines of all the what separates us, whatever that is for you that separates from you being close to me or your next door neighbor or whatever that is. It's those things that make us, that we in our mind say that makes us different from us. So I invite you all to look at that within yourselves and see what separates from other people. Instead of look at the separation, look at what could bring you closer together. So I guess we'll start off asking each other questions. Okay. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Who's asking questions, them or us?
You.
Us?
You asking me, and then I'll look at their.
So I'm going to ask you a question?
How about I ask you
Yeah, why
first?
don't you ask me first?
Okay. As you can tell, we're kind of sitting right diagonally from each other. When did you start getting into UFOs?
Well, I started being obsessed with the topic about, I'd say, 25 years ago. And then I took a hiatus of about maybe 10 years or so because I got to the point where I was just like, the government's never going to tell us what's really going on. They're not going to, they're covering things up for a reason, I'm sure. I don't know what reason that is, if it's to benefit them or if it's just to protect us. But I took a hiatus from it because I was just like, they're never going to tell us what's really going on. So what's the point of me even doing any type of investigating or obsession over it or anything like that? So I gave up on it for about 10 years. Then I met Karen, and then I started getting more and more interested in it again. And I started to revisit all of the old things I used to revisit. We went on vacation to the White Mountains this past summer, and we visited the Indian Head Resort where Betty and Barney Hill supposedly were abducted in 1962, I think it was. But yeah, so I started to get more and more interested in it because she brought in the fact that there's a spiritual side to it as well that I didn't know about. I was just concerned about the government conspiracy theories and all that. And I wasn't even thinking about the spiritual side of it. So it's possible that we can bypass the governments to become more aware of what's really going on. We don't need the government to tell us anything necessarily. We can just find out for ourselves. And that's why I've become more and more interested in it lately. So, yeah.
For me, I never really gave it much thought. I never thought, and I'm kind of like Aspie, I never really considered much. She said, I never really considered, here, I'll post it. This is what Aspie said. And I would kind of have to agree with that. I never considered much of UFOs until they showed up in 2012 overhead, and they just kept showing up. For me, I never really, if they're out there, they're out there. That was my theory. I didn't really care or put too much into it. And then March of 2020, I kept having a dream. And some of you guys know this because I did say it. I kept having a dream, but I would always forget. And then one day I just told myself, remember that, remember that, remember that. And oh, I got to post this. I want to hear about that, Wayne. So I kept saying, remember that dream. And I wrote it down. And I literally texted on my phone, and I put interdimensional healing mode learned on ship. And so I had been basically taken several nights, and every night I would literally get up and go, okay, I'm back. And I would lay back down and fall asleep and keep doing that every night. And that one night when I wrote it down, that's when I realized, and I was given a healing mode that was learned on the ship. And so once in a while they'll come, and it sounds so weird to say it, that they take me. But my best friend, one of my best friends came down, and she was, we were staying on Martha's Vineyard this time when I was moving And so we went to Martha's Vineyard and she stayed at the house and she said she couldn't sleep because all she kept seeing was aliens the whole time. All she saw was aliens all night long. So, yeah. So, guys will see more of this. You guys will hear more of this. You guys, it's going to start happening. Um, so yeah, it's not. I think the thing is that um, like anything else, it's the more you talk to other people about it, the more you feel validated that you're not going crazy. And if it wasn't for Debbie and JJ, I think I would have felt completely nuts. That's how. Um, let me scroll up because Um, okay, is that what you're saying, Debbie? Right there. Um, yeah. So the more we are going to see about it, and the more we are going to we're going to see more and hear more. And, basically, those of us who are stepping into our power, whatever that may be, it doesn't have to, you know, doesn't have to be, reading or, it's our gut feelings. But yeah, totally, Wayne, I would 100% my guide, you're saying that that's what you saw. Um, and we don't have to be afraid. It's not that whole, what do you call it? What were we hearing the other day, Joe, about they put off so much information, but disinformation or something like that. Do you remember how they said that?
Vaguely, but my whole thing about it is go into it with an open mind.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is I'm a skeptic about a lot of things. I firmly believe that this planet has been visited by beings from, are they dimensional? Are they from other dimensions? Are they from other planets? Nobody really knows. Maybe the government knows, but nobody really knows. But I just think people should have an open mind about it. The thing is, sometimes when you want to believe something, it becomes real to you, even though it's not. So, not everything that we see in the sky is of extraterrestrial origin.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something the government's doing, it could be anything, it could be a number of things. So, we just need to go into it with an open mind. It's hard to explain, how I feel about it, but it takes a lot to convince me of anything, and I'm convinced that we haven't visited. I think everybody at one time in their life has had contact of some sort. Just the fact that you don't remember it, um, you know, has nothing to do with it. Um, in my experience, I think when I was a kid, I'll just share a quick experience. When I was a kid, before I knew anything about UFOs or anything about abductions or anything like that, I can remember being awakened at night and being lifted off my bed and almost feel like a vacuum was taking me into not the window, but like my closet, almost like bringing me towards that. But I could feel myself being lifted up off the bed. And now I look back on it and I'm like, sounds like a classic abduction, right? But it happened to me several times when I was a kid. Um, Nothing like that's happened to me since. And I apologize if I'm rambling on about a lot of different things because this is my first time being on this YouTube thing.
I guess I should have told you it's the very first time we're popping.
Yeah, I've never been on anything like this before, but I'm excited because I think a lot of people have things that they can share, and if you want to talk about anything like, Roswell, the Phoenix Lights, anything like that, or if you want to talk about spirituality and its connection to the extraterrestrial theories, And yeah, I mean, the whole subject completely blows my mind because there's billions of galaxies out there, and so many possible different species of life forms, intelligent life. And the whole thing is just fascinating to me. And I really hope that I can get some positive feedback from people. And, it's exciting to me.
Yeah.
So,
I think if it wasn't for my experience, I wouldn't have understood that it was all connected, and it took a long time to realize um, that, you know, for instance, I will say multiverse. So tired of hearing universe. Yeah. Um, I think um, what has been going on lately is that we are, let me backtrack because I just had two thoughts in my head at the same time, and I apologize. So, if any of you have studied hypnosis, especially past life regressions, and Debbie could probably back me up if she's still in here, is that people now are coming through, and before it would, you would put uh, oh, can we not do the politics? It always throws me off. Um, that's why I try not to read the room. Anyways, so what they were saying, was that oh gosh, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, Debbie, that's what it was. So, people that are being hypnotized now for some reason are coming through, and they're remembering past lives of being on different planets. Okay, so it's not just being here on Earth. Some people are coming through, and I did one not too long ago. That she has never, this is her first life on Earth. Um she was always an alien from a different planet. Hi, Lisa. So she was always bouncing around from different planets, and when she found out she had to come to this planet, she literally, she just started crying, and I was asking her what's wrong. And this, remember, she's under hypnosis, and she's like, I don't want to go there. And I said, well, where? And she goes, well, Earth, because it's so heavy. And I said, well, I'm sure it's not a bad place. And she goes, yeah, but I'll forget everything, you know. Lucy, and you're absolutely right. That guy Mateus D Stefano, we have tried to watch him, and I always fall asleep for some reason, but he always does talk about that. Um, so I think at this point we are going to start seeing more aliens. We are going to start hearing about more stories. But I would ask you guys are very good about being connected to your souls and connected to your truth, and really kind of look at it, because what we keep hearing is, um, the government will give you about this much information, and then put so much disinformation into it, to where it just really scares you and it really freaks you out. And I always say, I'm not dogging on anybody that has had maybe a bad experience, but I just find it, to me, and this is just my belief, I think that if these people wanted to go up and do some really nasty things to us, they could, So someone had asked, how do you, differentiate, how do you make between the good and the bad? And it's like, I think if they really wanted to, they could really show us that, but most of them don't. Most of them don't do that. So, um, they're also talking about some of the DNA that we have. We all have, that reptilian brain comes from what are the other ones called? The reptilians. And that's where that reptilian brain comes from. And that's that part of your DNA. So people are saying that the junk DNA, and my guides say that's really plausible. I just get all four of them shaking their head. Yeah, that our DNA that is junk DNA, it's just because it's asleep and it's not needed at this time. but that will come up and alive as soon as we need. Let's see. I like that. Anna Banana says she's always wanted to do a past life regression. It's very cool to do that. Yeah.
So many types of ETs are here, always have been. We've crossbred millions of years ago. I agree.
Yeah.
That's an awesome theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, it's like I'm at the point where I'm just like, yeah, I believe in extraterrestrials and all that, but it's just hard because none of us really know for sure about anything. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, there could be multiple species of aliens, living among us, but how do we know? How do we know this?
Yeah.
It's all speculation. I mean, are we ever going to know 100% sure? Are we ever going to know?
Well, and I think if you follow Dr. Greer, whether you like him or not, if you follow Dr. Greer's CE5, I think it is, protocols, one of the things that he says is, through meditation, through our spiritual practices, you can go around the government,
Yeah, and if you want to see something really interesting, you can Google the Disclosure Project, which is something Stephen Greer did about 20 years ago or so. What it is, it's a panel that they did in Washington, I believe it was, where dozens of people came forward from different fields, government agencies, and you know, politicians, all kinds of people came forward and shared their experiences um, with UFOs, UFO technology, and all that stuff. So Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project, you can probably go on YouTube and watch it. It's a couple hours long, I think, but it's really interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rondell. You're absolutely right, and I think that is why we're seeing it more. Hi, Malia, how are you, my friend? Um, I think that's why we're seeing it more. If you think about it, you're going to hear about. I mean, literally, they show me that. I don't know what it's just called, but at least recently we've been watching something where this one triangle, and they say it's the size of six, um, like I don't Boeing
Yeah, it's
fleets.
like an aircraft
Yeah,
carrier.
six humongous airplanes. It's that big, and they've seen it all over the world.
Well, that goes back to the Phoenix Lights.
Oh, the Phoenix
That
Lights.
whole
Yes,
thing.
that whole thing. So I think you're right, and I think that's why they're kind of showing themselves a little bit here and there. But you know what? There's been several times where they're not going to be able to use their big weapons because they my guides are saying they have control over that. In fact, it's been proven that before, a long time ago, they tried to use it and they shut it off. They weren't able to
They could
use.
be billions and billions of years ahead of us in technology. If
Yeah.
they wanted to, we're just insects to them, basically. Um, but getting back to what one person was talking about with the weaponry and the guns and everything, interesting. Interesting because in what year was it? I can't remember the year, but Orson Welles went on radio and he did a War of the Worlds radio program one time. And before he started the show, there was a disclaimer saying, this isn't real. This is just I'm just reading the War of the Worlds. But he was reading the War of the Worlds, and people that were listening actually believed it was really happening. So the whole country was in a panic.
Yeah.
Because of it, and people were actually getting their guns out and protecting themselves, and getting ready for an alien invasion.
Yeah.
But so that could have been, there was some conspiracy talk about that was actually a test to see how people would react
Oh, I could believe it.
you know, but
Hey, Aspie, will you email me that name at Karen.sagehealers@gmail.com? I'll put the banner up so you can get that. But if you could email me that name, there's the, let's see, here is my email. It's the PayPal one. That's my email, Karen@sagehealers.com. Oops, I did that wrong. Karen. Yeah, Karen, I'm going to have to look that up. Let me go look that up. I'm like, let me look that up. I don't have my phone on me. That's my problem.
Indigo says, so we are defenseless. Well,
Eh,
God knows what the government's got cooking up, but yeah, I mean, we're defenseless, but defenseless against what? Do we have to defend ourselves? You know, why
I
would
think,
we?
and that's where I think that disinformation is. There are several belief systems in this where the reptilians are still running things, and this could be a whole humongous discussion because there are people that say, and I'm not trying. Somebody said I have to stand back, and I get that because that's everybody's personal. Melissa, um, I'm cool with that. Please, by all means, tell us your story or what you think, because there are people that believe that it's being ran by a bad race.
Well, what I'd like to say is that once again, I'd like to point out that I don't know what the hell I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So,
It's
and
just
by that I mean that none of us here. I mean, we all have our beliefs and we all think we know what's going on and we all listen to everybody, coming in from all sides. We don't know what's really going on.
yeah.
We don't know. We don't know anything. I mean,
See, I believe right here what Tracy is saying. So I wonder if we're experiencing and seeing and feeling them more, just the same way ascended masters, angels, guides, spirits are showing more to people as well. The planet and the people need so much healing. And that is my belief system right there. And you summed it up, Tracy. I think that, we are, light and dark. I think, yes, light and dark are fighting on this earth.
and I'll tell you my belief about it. My
Yeah.
belief is that these beings, I don't know what race of beings it is, but I think there are a couple of races of beings that are keeping an eye on this planet. I don't know if they're studying us or what, but I think they're keeping an eye on this planet, and I think they have our best interests. Because if they didn't, we'd be toast.
Yeah.
I think they got our best interest in hand, and to be honest with you, we're destroying this planet. There's nothing I can do about it, nothing you can do about it, but as a whole, humans are destroying the planet.
Melissa, you want to come on one day?
I'm sure they're looking at it and they'll probably a little concerned for us, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know.
That's what's been said, Vanessa, that they're 5D, they won't bother us anymore. Yeah, I think that, oh, by the way, this is not beer. Y'all know my ginger ale. I just want to point that out because I looked at it and I was like, wow, that looks like beer. I think that, Tracy's right. I do believe that. I want to go back to what I said, because when the person said, so we're helpless, I think that, and I draw a blanket what their names are. I'm trying to ask my guides for their names. It's something of 12, something 12. That's what I keep hearing, 12. And that we are created as a slave race by
you're reading
aliens.
the same thing I
am. And then Lisa, shit's beer.
I believe ancient alien theory to an extent. I don't think we were created as a slave race, but I do believe that we've been visited since the planet was created.
I
You
mean,
know,
if you look at,
I think we've been visited since then.
yeah,
And so ancient alien theory, yeah, I believe in it. I mean, I don't want to get into a whole religious thing,
yeah.
but we were talking the other day about it, and
Council of 12. Thank you, Mimi.
I was
Council of
I
12.
was raised a Catholic. I don't really practice it that much anymore or at all, but I believe the Bible. Um, without getting into religion too much, because I don't want to cause an uproar, but I
Yeah.
believe that Immaculate Conception. I think everything in the Bible pertains to visitations. I
Hmm.
believe that if Jesus was born immaculately, I believe that we were visited, and he's a hybrid. He was a hybrid,
Oh, you gotta.
basically.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it just sounds logical to me,
Yeah,
you
Wayne.
know.
Wayne, there are paintings and they have UFOs in them.
Yeah. Um,
That'll be awesome, Melissa. Um, Melissa says it's too much to to write down. But yeah, I think you have to, like I have always said, you guys need to search your souls and search what your truth is with all of it, and I understand, what let me scroll up a little bit. Suzanne said, I'll judge it when they come, and I think for me, I must say, for me, the ones that visit me give me ways to heal and give me the light language and give me some of, one of my guides is from, I've tried to, he always tells me I can't say his name because, thank you, Lucy, and I appreciate that. I can't say his name because you can't say it with our tongue. But what they do say is, he's from Sirius and he looks really, really tall. And the best way I can describe him, he looks like a sparkler. His body looks sparkly and beautiful. And he's the one that helps me when I do my light language, or when I'm literally like, if somebody's got a problem with their body, I literally get sucked into that point with their body, and he's the one that has his hand on me, showing me which way to go or what to do. So the ones that I am in contact are nothing but loving souls. The Council of 12, they really are looking out for us. And I never went back to what I was trying to say before when I said there was a time, and I don't remember the story or where it comes from, and I shouldn't be mentioning it since I don't have all of it, but you guys can look it up. And this, they were going to run a test on, like, the bomb or whatever, and they were going to do something, and they said when they were trying to do it, these aliens came and everything got shut down, and they knew that if they wanted to get it shut down, because I firmly believe the universe looks at us because we do some stupid ass shit, And so if we do something here, it's going to hurt everybody else out there. Yeah, serious. Mimi, that's my guy.
that's why there were a lot of UFO sightings in the 40s, because we were doing all those atomic testing,
Yes.
and they could see that from
Yeah.
space. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah. Aspie is like, I've already made contact. Yep. And so, for us, it's just mainly, just like when I started this channel, it was just to reach out to people that were new and stepping into their power and stepping into their belief. And I wanted to be supportive of that. And I think that that is just another, you know, something else. Thank you. I Aspie, I totally agree with you. Um, but we just want to be supportive in that way, and just kind of channel and guide, and channel Sirius if he comes through and when he comes through, and then do the light language, if everybody is comfortable with that, but there will be some videos with just light language as well. So, but that's how we're changing. And we just hope that you guys have a really, really awesome New Year's and manifest it really good. Just manifest what's coming. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to ask a question or talk about?
Somebody wrote something about DNA.
Oh, well, let me scroll up. According to the history, 12,000 years ago, we didn't have the appropriate vocal cords for speech, and then all of a sudden it was there. It seems too convenient. We've been messed with over the centuries. And on a banana, that is exactly what some have said, that we have, when you go from one jump to the other jump, it was just too much.
Yeah, that's
And
what I was gonna say because you see that chart,
mhm,
you see the chart with where we started, there was a big jump from where we are now to the Neanderthals,
yeah,
and somebody must have came down here and played with our DNA a little bit, and
yeah. And there's also history that shows that we, um, like some of our history is not correct.
oops,
Some of our history isn't correct because I know Northeast, like where we live, which is in Massachusetts, people had been digging up and found giants, literal giants. I mean, and nothing says that about, in our history books, it doesn't talk about giants. Yeah.
the Nephilim.
Yeah. Some say the Nephilim. Yeah. So that's exactly correct, Lucy. And some people say that we're hybrids, fourth or fifth versions of the humans. Yep. Yep. So,
Yeah,
Lucy, what's been going on with you? You been okay? I've been so out of the loop. I must have autoimmune disease. Teresa, my I have an autoimmune disease and it's extremely, extremely rare. I think that's a part of two things. I think one, your body has muscle memory and your body remembers trauma, and that sticks in your cells and that sticks in every part of you, your muscle, your cells, your joints, all of it. I also personally believe that we have screwed with our food so much that our food is really jacking with us. So I really think that that's part of the two things, and the reason why we have that autoimmune. So I'm the same way, and it sucks, and I hate it. Um, yeah, missing manipulators. What do you mean by that, Wayne?
manipulations.
Is manipulate?
Yeah, they manipulated with our DNA
Oh,
type of deal. I
yes.
think that's what he's
Is that what you
talking
mean?
about.
There's manipulating the DNA. Yeah, I would agree. Shield Maiden. Definitely. We're being all awakened. And yes, Prince Charming's mom, you do what I do at nighttime. And so I learned something today from a couple, and I will have them on my show pretty soon, as soon as we get some dates down. But remember to call your soul back to you in the morning before you even get out of bed. For those of us that know how to leave our bodies and do work, please do that. On a banana, you're absolutely right. They're finding more things. Yeah. And also they're saying, what is that RH factor or negative RH, where they're saying that they can't trace that back. Have you heard about that? Like the blood?
I vaguely remember hearing something about that.
So, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Yep. Neanderthals went extinct because their DNA was not as strong. Very true. Yeah. Yeah, astral travel, Marie. So if you do astral traveling at night, if you know how to do that, some of us do it automatically. Just call your soul back before you get out of bed. So, yeah. Any other thing anybody wants to put in there?
Is that like remote viewing?
RH. Oh, astral travel. And know that Joe is pretty new to
Is that like remote viewing?
no, it's like when you can actually get out of your body, your soul can actually come out of your body and you could go visit your, you could go visit your friend or I mean, like I've done that. I had a friend that was sick and went to go visit her and help her. Yep, RH. RH has to do with blood trying typing. Yep. Indigo, if you just really put some intention out, um, yes, entertainment purposes only. If you put your intention out, you can definitely do that. And you just need to put the intention out and start. I always do it when somebody's in need. That's when I do it. And so I'll usually go visit a person and do Reiki and light language when that person's in need. By the way, I need to take a moment to ask all the spiritual warriors to send some light to Brandon in Alaska. Is there anybody else that that needs some light and love? Um, Teresa, I don't think tonight I'm gonna do that. I think Monday. So Monday. Um, does anybody know of anybody else that needs some healing? So please put their names up there so that we can do that. Or if you're at the Way Showers. So if you're on Facebook, we have a private group called the Way Showers. And I can never write it. I wrote it, but I never know how to write it. Um, so okay. No other names. Yeah, I think we're all shifting. I think this whole entire thing is just a shift. And that reminds me, um, Aunt Ramona. So let's pray for Aunt Ramona too. Um, you know, yes, Way Showers. That's the way you type that. So if you go in there and type Way Showers, I'm sure we made it so that you can actually find it. And then it's a great community to all get together and talk and do the prayers or something that somebody needs. One of the things that I wanted to, yeah, and first of all, I wanted to remind you guys, all of you guys, that those of you that are stepping into your truth and to your power and to your path, please remember that the veil is getting thinner, so you might feel a little bit different. You might suffer from migraines. You might suffer from getting up in the middle of the night, getting sick. Um, so, just take care of yourself. Um, take care of yourself and just know that um, some of us are struggling with health issues, but it is not the cocoa and it's not any of that. Is that you? I don't know where my phone is. If anybody's texting me, I lost it. Is there any other questions, Debbie? Any ET questions that we can answer? Antonia M. So, yeah, we said we were going to keep this short tonight because we just want to introduce Joe. I had a bird pain fall right on my foot earlier. Ouch. Yeah. Yowie. Yeah, the shifts are real, Tracy, and they are happening. And like I said, right now my guides always show me that we are all manifesting totally different realities, you know. Um, I'm gonna pin that. Oh, I'm gonna pin that, and then I'll come back to that. Um, we're all manifesting totally different realities because, those of you who are watching the news and who spend time doing that, um, you're definitely manifesting a different reality that I'm manifesting because everybody knows me, knows I don't watch the news. I just can't do it. Um, so I would ask that just remember that. Erase that line, they say. Just keep erasing that line of, even though there people are different, we're still ultimately, we all want the same thing. Nobody wants anybody to get hurt or anything like that. Lucy, and that's a really good initiation series, is awesome. Okay, so interdimensional waking. I'm all about dreams. Lucid dreamer here. Do you feel like ETs show up in dreams often for you? Um, yes and no. So I don't think I'm dreaming. I think they show up at nighttime. Another time I had was, I had some friends over that were talking to us about ETs and extraterrestrials, and in that time I was still like, whatever, they're out there. Okay, I know they're out there, but whatever. And I was asleep, and I literally, people can't come up to me when I'm sleeping, and this ET came up to me, and I opened my eyes, and I just saw this ET like right here just staring at me, and it had the face like shaped kind of like, oh, let me take that off so you can kind of see it. It was almost like more square at the top, but then came down like this, in very almond shaped eyes. And it looked looked kind of green to me, kind of greenish grayish, but it was very odd because she had this headpiece on. Very, very weird. And as soon as I did my man scream, because I can't scream pretty, I gotta scream, oh, she just kind of disappeared right in front of my face. And so I do believe that they come during dreams, because that's when we're so natural and connected, I guess you could say. We don't have all that fear base behind us, and we're not all fearful. So I think that's why it does come during that time, during sleep. Not for everybody, of course, but some people.
Flowing says the same thing happened to them.
Really? Yeah, it was weird. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm going back. Any known connection between e-king contacts and Asperger's? I don't know. I would have to look that up. I honestly don't know. I know that so those of you that don't know, that's what my day job is. I work with people that have, I hate to say disability, because I think that Asperger's and things like that, that is an ability. I think that they're their own awesome brain, and I just think they see things differently, and they're connected differently. Personally, that's what I think. But I would be curious to. I will start investigating that. I don't. Does anybody else know of that? Let's see. Let's see. Recently, I started dreaming of one specific alien. He seemed kind of fearful when he realized that I noticed him. Huh, that's pretty cool. Have you tried to make contact and ask what his name is? And what I would do on a banana is just kind of see about before you go to sleep.
Well, I have an experience to share.
Oh, please do.
Oh, I will. Once again, when I was a kid, I woke up from, I don't know if I was dreaming or what, but I woke up and there was a small figure hovering over my bed. It was a small, what are you pointing at?
The camera.
There was a small figure hovering over my bed. It was draped. It was completely dark and you really couldn't see its face. But when I opened my eyes and I looked up at it, it started to back away and it was like shaking its head like no, which kind of makes me think it was more of a spirit more than an alien, because why would an alien be shaking its head no. Didn't make much sense to me. And I think that was the time, it was either that time or another time I had a similar experience. And I thought I was dreaming at first, but then my cat jumped up on the bed and was like staring, like it was defending me. It was like staring up at whatever it was. Then it just
Yeah.
kind of dematerialized, and
Yeah.
that was it. I had a lot of weird stuff happen to me in that house.
That's why I love the animals, because it's almost like your animal can see it too,
Yeah.
you know?
So yeah, anyway, that goes back to the, when it saw me and it saw that I noticed it, it kind of backed away and was very,
Freaked out.
freaked out that I noticed it, that I could see it, and it kind of just dematerialized.
Do certain types of races of ETs work on certain areas or skills to help humans? I believe yes, because because I have Sirius here who helps me, and it's only healing. Like, he only guides me to heal. He doesn't help me when, like, if there's someone who's crossed over, he doesn't help me in that way. He only helps me when someone's sick, and that's when he steps in. um so in my experience, yeah. Do they have certain expertise associated with their species? From what I am understanding, yes. Also, they have different vibrations, and with different vibrations comes their different abilities to speak. And all I keep seeing is the reptilians are down here, yet just keep seeing this really tall race that are way up here that don't use any words. I hate to put names on things. I really do. I just,
Well, there's the tall grays.
flowing. That's what's happening to you now. Yeah, and I think that's where, you know, why we decided kind of to change up the um the YouTube, is so that we can be supportive in this area, because a lot of people are having this. A lot of people are changing. Things are changing for them. Uh, well, I like what I was reading this. Lessons have been harsh and furious, trying to raise our vibrations for a new path. Exactly. I mean, if you look at as a whole Earth, if you look at where we were 2 years ago, 3 years, let's just say 3 or 4 years ago, we did not have this many lights that were awakening at the same time. We didn't even have this much. Now we've got so many people waking up. And like I always say, your light that you're here to shine does not have to be the same light that I'm shining. It's Joe's light doesn't have to be the same light I'm shining, but whatever your truth on this earth to be here in this moment is to raise your vibration, to work through your past issues, to work through, and that's why I've been gone for a year, to work through all of it so that we can, call it what you will, call it jumping to 5D, call it, sending all they show me is this brighter light shining on the earth and just knocking out all the dark. That's what they show me. And that doesn't come easy, and so be strong, keep being strong, and keep doing you. Lisa says, I totally think that it's been happening to me. I'm just beginning to try to see my dreams from that angle. Try to write it down, man. Try to ask your spirit guides to give it to you and help you remember those things. It's really high time that you put your orders in with your spirit guides and say, help me remember, give it to me differently. If you didn't get it, give it to me stronger. Yeah. So I think, Marie, they just protect us too much, you know? Yeah, please hit those thumbs up. Melissa. I would probably say that that is probably that feels a little true. You know, she said they've always told her she must be an alien. I think we're all. I mean, honestly, I think we've all had past lives out there, and I think that that's where our quote unquote junk DNA comes from, is from those past lives that we've had out there. So I don't think that this is new to any of us. Let's see. I accidentally went too fast high up. Now I don't know where I'm at. Oh, there I am. Okay. There you go. This started last month for you on a banana. I would agree, Tracy. I do feel that I would prefer, I always try to put the person before the disability. So the person that has Asperger's are more advanced in their vibration is different. And I would agree. I mean, I love going to work. I love doing my job because I get to be around some wonderful individuals and they teach me a lot. Um, yeah, so yeah, let's see. Exactly, Marie, I would agree with you. They know who to contact and who can handle it. Melissa, you're absolutely right. People with autism are different. Their connections are different. Thank you, Lucian. I love Lucian. She always backs me up. And for entertainment purposes only. I missed that question for spirit intuitive. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Indigo Chalice Tarot. Do you have a suggestion of difference between the guide and an ET, and are they interchangeable? It does make sense. And what do you think, Indigo Chalice, since she is asking you? I tagged Heather and not Karen. Oh, did you mean me? I think they're both. I think my guides are interchangeable, personally. Did you see? Ha 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 ha. Probably Suzanne. And so Suzanne says, now this is weird. Since we've been talking about this, all of a sudden a small headache has appeared, and now my whole body is tingling with energy. Download, maybe? Interesting. Yeah. I would say, yeah, that probably is. Um, yes, Lisa. I think that we'll go back to that question. I think they are interchangeable. I think that well, let me preface it this with, I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make as a spiritual, and I know I'm going to get a bite back from you guys when I say this, as a spiritual person, is sometimes we try so hard to figure out what we're getting that we lose the message. And so, um, I heard this really good information about channeling. And this guy said if you have a typewriter and your typewriter is busted and it keeps writing right here, like A, C, D, and it never moves and it just keeps poking, poking, poking. What happens is if you were to hold the paper this way, you could see all the letters right here like this, then you could read the sentence. And, I think that's what happens is we get too caught up on where it's coming from or who it's coming from, because a long time ago, Debbie said, and I agree with her, a true guide isn't going to say anything nasty or rude to you. They're not going to spout off hate. They're not going to spout off rudeness. And if that is what you hear, then that's when you need to go out and get some help. I think that's about what she said. Your real true guides won't have anything but really wonderful information for you. So I try not to figure it out. The only reason I knew he was from Sirius was because I started, he's the one that taught me how to scry. So he was, just got me out of my own way basically so that I could help healing. Am I missing a question? So hopefully that answered it, Lisa.
A lot
But
of good comments.
yeah. See, so I put my glasses on, but then I have to take them off because I'm right in that space where I can't, it's perfect. Okay.
I can't click on any of the comments though.
Joe doesn't have the power to click on the comment, so I have to. Okay, I feel conversation is strong, educational too, for all. And to Joe, I feel it's the right time for you to come back to this now. It's needed now. Yeah. Yep. I would agree, Suzanne. I mean, I just, you know, so at this point, and this is how I am handling things, I've been really dealing with migraines really, really bad. And I was in the hospital the other day because of it. And, it dawned on me that the more medicine I personally take, the more it's hindering what's happening. And we're all just kind of changing a little bit. If you're stepping into your power, you're changing. That's what's going on. So please go to the doctors when you need be. But me personally, I'm trying to stay away from the meds to get me through all of this. But, Suzanne, I think you're right. It's the health issues you had to wait. Just don't be shocked if things start coming to you faster and harder now, which is what Joe and I want to, kind of say. It's like, we're not going crazy. It's the same thing when I started this a year, 2 years ago or whenever I started this. It's like, this is just another layer of it. It's something that some of us hadn't given much thought, to that this really does exist. And like I said, hopefully Joe and I can put it all together, and pretty soon he's going to have the power to do all of this. He's like, no. Yes, our guides are our cheerleaders, 100%. I'm kind of behind, so I'm scrolling up. Oh, thank you, Rondell. I know, me and the glasses, huh? I always struggle with that. I'm way behind. I'm trying to catch up.
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah. Marie, as long as you tell me what I need to know, not what I want to. Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like 2020, I'm sorry, 22, 24, and maybe 25. I mean, we are just bouncing. I mean, so much is changing. And that's why the reason I never, and I've always said this, get into the politics is my guides have always said it is not where I personally need to be because things are going to change. Now, what that changes, I don't know. They won't tell me. So I just tried to stay with what speaks to me. You're right. One door open, one door closes, one door opens. Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Suzanne. It did. Total reset. Oh, tinnitus is one of the things, you know, every Saturday. Well, they're like, we want you to come on every Saturday. We'll try. We'll try. No promises. Um, we were talking about doing every other Saturday, just because our family, what's best for our family. But yeah, definitely Saturday, every other Saturday. And then Mondays I'll do personal readings and stuff like that on Mondays, as long as it doesn't bump into anybody else's stuff. It'll probably be earlier because I'm on the East Coast, and maybe earlier on Wednesdays. So any other questions, any other thoughts? Because I finally caught up with everybody. So just remember, drink lots of water when you're going through that, when you're going through those tiny. And I've been talking to some of my other friends. One of them literally got up with stomach ache and then throwing up. His wife was just like, could not get her heat up. Like she just, and no COVID, it was just bam, this happened. They thought it was food poisoning. Now he's okay. His wife just had problems with the heat, couldn't get his heat up. Yeah. Let's see. I lost my crystal ball today. Don't put it by the sun, girlfriend. And allowed my guides to show me where it was. And for some reason, I felt impelled to look at my boot, and there it was. Yeah. Yeah. I lost my driver's license for a few days, and all I could see, it was in a pocket, and it took me a while to find it. Oh, yes, I do still have Atticus. He's right here underneath the table where we're sitting. He is doing awesome. They have diagnosed him with atypical, oh, what was it? Addison's. And then they put him on some medication for his thyroid, and then he was just losing his mind. So they took him off of that. So he's doing really, really good, but he's 9. So in dog years, he's 70 something. Australia.
I think there's a 14-hour difference between here and Australia.
Yeah. Rondell, I am thinking that it's probably going to be, if I have to take a wild guess right now, it's probably going to be 5 Eastern time. Because I would be able to get home, get settled, and then so on Mondays 5. I'll work it out Tuesdays. So poor little guy Lucy, and he's 139 pounds. He ain't little. So, but all right, guys. So yeah, we're gonna probably sign off. Just remember, drink lots of water, process through your crap. Remember to shine as much light and love on yourself as you can and around your friends and family, and
live long and prosper.
Yeah. Oh, you're on. Debbie's on at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, that'll be good because I'm thinking about going on 5 Eastern Standard Time. Put them in my purse. That'd be a big ass purse. So, but yeah, just stay healthy and manifest really good things, and that, all of this craziness is going to stop. So yeah, it's 9:40, and you will see more of us.
Thanks for all the positive feedback, all the comments and everything.
And Joe, you did good for your first YouTube.
Yeah. Well, always get better.
Yep. We'll see you guys later. Much love to you. Okay. Bye.